Well, it's that time to reveal the three quarterbacks that are on my NFL 100 all-time team. And without further ado, I will now introduce the starting quarterback for my NFL 100-time team. And his name is Joe Montana, 49ers quarterback through 79 to 8. Well, I think he was with the team while he was injured through 90 or 91. Then he moved over to the Chiefs for 2 seasons, took them to the playoffs, and then retired after that. His career was plagued with many injuries after there were really no rules like there are today with getting hit. If you're really looking for a big hit, you can look up the 1990 NFC Championship where Leonard Marshall cracked Joe Montana in the back, really ending his career with the 49ers. Joe Montana also was plagued. The NFL went on strike in 1982 and 1987. But other than that, many consider the 80s the golden era of football, and it would be hard to deny that Montana wasn't the quarterback of the 80s, winning more Super Bowls than any other quarterback in the 1980s. And Montana, like I said, 4-time Super Bowl champion. He is a 1-time Offensive Player of the Year. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro. He's a 2-time MVP, 1986 Comeback Player of the Year, 1989 Burt Bell Award winner. He lifetime has a 71% win percentage and a 70% win percentage in the postseason. He was a 2-time Cotton Bowl champion at Notre Dame, including what was one of the greatest comebacks in history when they came down 28 points or 24 points, I believe it was. They came down. Notre Dame was trailing against Houston, and Joe Montana not only had the flu, he had hypothermia, and it was the -6 wind chills in the game. It was a crazy game, and they were down 20 plus points in the fourth quarter. And they just finally had warmed up Montana, and they brought him in the fourth quarter, and he scored 4 touchdowns to lead the Fighting Irish to victory. And to conclude his career, Montana ended up being inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2000 to really cap off one of the great quarterback careers in NFL history. And again, if you didn't watch the previous video, you won't understand the basis of this team was not the greatest at each position. There was bias in this team based off of strategy, personnel, and personal bias, I guess you could say. So this is not me saying Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback ever. This is saying, if I had a team, who do I want as my quarterback? I'll take Joe Cool. My second string quarterback would be Peyton Manning. He is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a 14-time Pro Bowler, a 7-time All-Pro, 5-time MVP, 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. He was a 2012 Comeback Player of the Year after his neck surgery. He's a 3-time Burt Bell Award winner, Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2005, and has a 70% winning percentage in the regular season and a 52% winning percentage in the postseason. Many countless classics with Tom Brady. But Peyton Manning, for me, I think his film study and his on-field play recognition, audibles, this, that. I just think he's one of the brightest quarterbacks, one of the higher football IQ quarterbacks to ever play this game. And that's why I believe he was one of the most successful regular season quarterbacks ever. And for that, I decided to put him as my second string quarterback on this team. Simply because I think he's just, he's got a good head on his shoulders, high football IQ, he's a leader. And that's something I thought would be good for the team. And that leaves us to our third quarterback, and for the third quarterback, I was going for more of a dual threat. That way I could get somebody that was good on the ground and had a good arm. And to me, I went with, in my opinion, now this is true. In my opinion, probably one of the better dual threat quarterbacks in NFL history. Maybe not the best, but definitely one of the best left-handed quarterback in history, and that is Steve Young. He played for the USFL. Started in BYU, USFL after being drafted to Tampa Bay. Went back to Tampa Bay, and then the 49ers picked him up, and he sat behind Montana until Montana was knocked out and took over the reins. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, only one Super Bowl as a starter. He is a 7-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro, a 2-time MVP, a 1992 Offensive Player of the Year, and a 2-time Burt Bell Award winner. He has a 66% winning percentage, a 57% winning percentage in the postseason, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2005 to cap off the great career from 1992 to 93 to 90 and through 94. He had 3 of the best seasons in NFL history a quarterback could have. Young was just dangerous on the ground as he was throwing. He led the league in completion percentage quite a few times, as he was kind of above his generation as a passer, and he really was remarkable. He did lose the Joe Montana versus Steve Young when the 49ers and the Chiefs met, but I don't think it was because of the offenses. The Kansas City Chiefs defense had quite the game and shut down the 49ers offense, giving them the victory. But it was a great career for Steve Young. It was too bad, though, that it was shortened by the fact that he was sitting behind Joe Montana. And had it not been, I couldn't imagine what his numbers would be. But even starting his career as late as he did, he was still put up a Hall of Fame career. And given his dual threatness, that's why I chose him as my third string quarterback. So there you go. There are my 3 quarterbacks for my NFL 100 all-time team: Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Steve Young. Again, I'll reiterate, this is not me saying these are the 3 best quarterbacks in NFL history. That's not it at all. I chose them for certain reasons. I'm thinking about this as like an actual team. I know that would never be real, but those are the 3 quarterbacks I chose to put on this team. Again, there's personal bias, there's personnels, there's different play styles. I want to keep it balanced. There's multiple factors that go into this, and it's not me saying these are the best ever to do it. So as long as that's clear, I'm good with that. Coming up next week, we'll do halfbacks and fullbacks, and we'll see who makes the list and who makes my NFL 100 all-time team at the tailback and fullback position. So thank you for watching this week's reveal of who would be on the my NFL 100 all-time team, and stay tuned for next week where we do the halfbacks and fullbacks. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and the next video coming up next is going to be my explanation on why playoff expansion will be harmful to the MLB and NFL should they continue to agree and proceed in the playoff expansion ride. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and as always, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them, and I would love to answer them or respond to them in future videos if they are good enough to spark a debate. So thank you, and stay tuned.